Warm greetings to everyone. I hope all of you are doing fine. My name is Filmor Murillo. I am an associate professor from the Camarines or Polytechnic Colleges, Philippines. I am so delighted to be a part of this 2021 Korea TESOL International Conference. Joining all of you in this prestigious event is indeed a great honor for me. Today, I wish to take this wonderful opportunity to share with you my paper, Usage of Figures of Speech in English Songs. It is a common observation that the young learners of today are typically exposed to various forms of mass media. They watch television, read newspapers and magazines, listen to the radio, or surf the World Wide Web. Mass media play a vital role in informing, educating, influencing, and entertaining them. Interestingly, the younger generation considers the internet as a great source of entertainment. The entertainment appeal of mass media is so strong that development communicators have actually utilized this strength in delivering and creating awareness about serious issues and social concerns to people of various walks of life. As a matter of fact, the attempt to use entertainment in educating people has led to the birth of the concept of edutainment or intereducation. One source of entertainment that appeals greatly to the generation of today is music. This appeal has been further elevated by the proliferation of music websites like YouTube and various music streaming services like Spotify. The effectiveness of the strategy in using songs to teach has been used by educators for many years. For instance, most children are introduced to the alphabet through nursery songs, and I think many of us have experienced it when we were young. Even learning numbers in the early years of a child's education is assisted by music. The literary value present in songs is being utilized also in teaching literature. The lyrics of songs are considered as sources of examples for grammar lessons in English. While learning the different components of language requires effort in general, one topic that is considered challenging by many learners is figure of speech. Comprehending figures of speech entails understanding the text itself, the ideas that the text presents, and the context where the text exists. Also, the figurative manner of constructing sentences is considered difficult, for it requires not only literal reading, but an in-depth understanding and creative exploration of the text. Based from observation, most examples that teachers use in teaching figures of speech are taken from poems, stories, and other literary genres. In some cases, these literary types are most often unknown or unfamiliar to the students, which weaken their appeal that eventually slows down and hampers learning. To facilitate the effective teaching of the topic, it is an advantage if examples will be called out from texts that are considered familiar to the learners and use examples that they may relate with to further catch their attention. This provides motivation, heightens interest, and facilitates learning. This preliminary observation motivate the conceptualization of the current study, for it focuses on pop music as a potential pedagogical learning resource in teaching figures of speech and in facilitating literary and linguistic appreciation. It paves way to the intersection of the fields of entertainment and education. This paper aims to accomplish the following. One, identify the songs most listened to by university students. Two, extract figurative expressions from the lyrics of these English songs. And three, pinpoint the figures of speech used. Figure of speech is a word or phrase which is used in special effect and which does not have its usual or literal meaning. Existing literature, though, affirms that it is a regular occurrence in different textual and oral discourses that it is expected to be encountered by students in various levels of their experience in increasing complexity. It is valuable in teaching language, particularly vocabulary and thinking skills like summarizing and concluding. It is also used in literature, advertising, social sciences, and other fields. Existing studies confirm the value and versatility of figures of speech, which justifies any effort in studying it further. The context of the study has been anchored on the cognitive load theory, or CLT. CLT asserts that information processing and learning is affected by cognitive loads. CLT has played an important role in education, for it has been affecting the design and implementation of instructional materials with the aim of decreasing mental effort and optimizing retention of concepts learned. Cognitive loads therefore affect learning. The loads may be intrinsic, which has something to do with the complexity of the concepts being learned, extraneous, which refers to the strategies and methodologies used in teaching the concept, and germane, which refers to the cognitive or thought processes that result to schema construction and rule automation. The processes include interpreting, exemplifying, classifying, inferring, differentiating, and organizing. When the cognitive load is lighter, there is less cognitive discomfort, which contributes to efficient learning. Aside from using the cognitive load theory, this paper also utilizes content analysis in making sense of the body of data or the corpus which the researcher has gathered. Content analysis is a framework used in interpreting the content of text data, particularly analyzing written, verbal, or visual communication messages. As a research framework, it is objective, systematic, quantitative, and qualitative as well. It reduces text into smaller, measurable uses, which in this case are the English songs and the figurative expressions respectively. Content analysis requires researchers to identify the data to be studied, particularly its set of definition, frequency or population, context, limits or boundaries, and target of inferences, which renders it as a practical and appropriate framework for the current study. Using the aforementioned theoretical frameworks, the paper analyzes songs listed by 369 undergraduate or university level students. These students were asked to write songs which they consider as all-time favorite, current favorite, or both. This slide shows the list of songs from which the figurative expressions have been extracted. Just by a simple glance, older generation may consider a few songs to be familiar, like the song My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion, song number 38, or the song Flying Without Wings by Westlife, song number 32. The younger generation, on the other hand, may easily identify hit songs like Stone Cold by Demi Lovato, song 59, or the Billboard chart topper Closer by the Chainsmokers, song number 1. The students listed 308 songs, which they consider as current favorite, an all-time favorite, or both. 59 songs are analyzed in this study since they are considered most listened to by at least two listeners, a parameter which the researcher has considered. Having each song considered favorite by at least two listeners ensures dialogue, which may lead to further exploratory discussion. It is interesting to note that the years of the release of these songs vary. For instance, the song Wonderful Tonight is released in 1977, while the song All Night is released in 2017. The list affirms the consideration of music as a popular form of entertainment, particularly by the students. Although it is expected that they listen more to current songs since they belong to a younger demographic, the inclusion of older songs signify both the timeless appeal of music and the variety of taste of the listeners. This demonstration regarding the appeal of music makes it as an interesting pedagogical instrument. Findings also reveal that 18 figures of speech are used by the songs with extracts ranging from 1 to 82, resulting to a total of 237 figurative expressions. The figures of speech are personification, alliteration, metaphor, simile, anaphora, metonymy, hyperbole, accumulatio, paradox, episioxis, anapodoton, asterismos, polyptoton, oxymoron, onomatopoeia, irony, apostrophe, and anadiplusis. In my discussion, I shall be giving emphasis to the three most commonly used figures of speech. It is evident that the most pervasive ones are metaphor, alliteration, and personification. Let me first talk about alliteration. Alliteration is defined as the repetition of the same consonant sounds or of different vowel sounds at the beginning of words or in stressed syllables. 58 extracts, which are alliterative, are found in 37 songs. For example, the words in the phrase sweet sensation in the first extract both start with S. In the second extract, the words young and yesterday start with the letter Y. And in the third extract, the successive words my, mind, and memory begin with the letter M, which make them alliterative. Alliteration, whether used by lyricists consciously or unconsciously, is common because of several reasons. It creates rhythm, emphasis, and mood or tone, which are needed in making a good song. When used in lyrics, alliteration helps move the narrative of the song from one point to another, highlight certain words, and contribute in establishing the emotion that the song wishes to convey. Interestingly, the ease of using similar beginning letter in successive placement of words in a phrase or sentence is an indication of the wealth of a person's vocabulary and his or her command of the language being used. Another commonly used figure of speech is metaphor. Metaphor is a figure of speech in which a word or phrase that ordinarily designates one thing is used to designate another, thus making an implicit comparison. It typically relates two unlike concepts or objects. The researcher has extracted 26 metaphorical expressions from 15 songs. Here are sample extracts. In extract number one, the person being addressed or being spoken to is considered a flashlight by the speaker. In extract number two, love is compared to fire. And in the third extract, the persona or the speaker considers herself as an ember, while another is treated as a shade of gold. The last figure of speech is personification. Personification is a figure of speech in which inanimate objects or abstractions are endowed with human qualities or are represented as possessing human form. It has been used in 82 extracts from 43 songs. Personification has been used in these sample extracts. In sample extract 1, the inanimate noun waves is performing a human action which is calling. In sample 2, the noun umbrella, which is an object, is described to be saying something, an action which is performed by human only. Finally, in extract number 3, the inanimate noun circles is described to be telling something. Interestingly, metaphor and personification share significant similarities as figures of speech. First, they give ideas and concepts a symbolic stance, which, when used in literature, adds depth to the literary interpretation and appreciation. Using them facilitates understanding since readers tend to understand concrete concepts more than abstract ones. Concrete concepts, after all, are more relatable. Anything that appeals to the physical senses is more comprehensible than those that are more mere ideation. The linguistic relevance of metaphor and personification is further highlighted by Lakoff and Johnson's conceptual metaphor theory, or CMT. CMT considers both figures of speech as conceptual metaphors, which structure one concept using another concept. CMT asserts that our conceptual system is metaphoric in nature. Remember that our conceptual system influences the way we think, feel, talk, and act. Conceptual metaphors are therefore manifestations of our metaphoric conceptual system. Conceptual metaphors are windows that show us what concepts we share universally and what ideas are culture specific. Most importantly, they provide clues about the ideologies and worldviews that a person possesses, making conceptual metaphors central in the field of cognitive stylistics. Now, based on the foregoing data, the study concludes that 1. Young people, particularly university students, listen to a wide array of English songs and favor both old and new songs. These songs provide numerous figurative expressions which teachers who want to fuse entertainment and education may utilize. The same figurative expressions also present vast opportunities in teaching different concepts from language and literature courses to make them more interesting and relatable or to validate them. Although current songs are expected to be more appealing to students, the date of release or publication of a song does not explicitly influence their choice of music. The more songs the students can relate to, the more pedagogical sources the teachers may utilize. Another conclusion is that figures of speech, particularly personification, alliteration, and metaphor, form part in the creative expression of songs. Their usage is pervasive in the lyrics of the songs since they serve as linguistic tools or vehicles that enable songwriters and lyricists to express their thoughts and emotions. They serve as rhetorical tools as well. They facilitate learning of the text and beyond the text. Figures of speech also serve as pragmatic signals and linguistic devices, particularly drawing attention to themselves or to the words or phrases co-occurring with them. They provide a clue about a person's skill in understanding texts through the use of analogy and contradictions. They facilitate recognition and utilization of context clues. They also demonstrate people's wealth of vocabulary and their ability to expand their vocabulary. Finally, using pop music addresses the demand of having different presentation or teaching modalities since teachers may opt to ask the students to sing along or simply listen to songs or watch music video with or without subtitles. The entertainment appeal of pop music decreases the degree of learning complexity. The sense of familiarity facilitates more efficient cognition since learners during the learning process become more focused on continuing schema construction instead of being forced to create new ones. Therefore, the potential of figures of speech in English songs as a resource in appreciating and teaching language and literature, particularly figures of speech, is vast and versatile. And that concludes my presentation. And these are the references that I used in my study. Thank you very much for your time and patience. If you have any question, feel free to drop me a note or two. I'd be delighted to answer them. Thank you again and stay safe.